Fox News alert. We're getting a live look at the West Bank, where things have quieted down after an Israel-Hamas ceasefire took effect this morning. But here in the U.S. and around the world, violent anti-Semitic attacks are on the rise. The Anti-Defamation League reporting nearly 200 anti-Semitic incidents in the 7 days from May 10th. That's when the Hamas rockets started flying. This is a 40% uptick from the week before. In London, a group of cars carrying the Palestinian flag drove through the city shouting anti-Semitic obscenities. In Los Angeles, pro-Palestinian demonstrators singled out and attacked Jewish diners. And in Times Square, just yesterday, protesters burning an Israeli flag in broad daylight. And it was especially tense in New York City's Diamond District during a standoff between pro-Palestinian and pro-Israel groups. Unbelievable what we're seeing across the country. I want to start with you, Steve, and I want to pull up some tweets we have. This is the past history of some of the things that we've heard from the Democrat Party, and I believe they'll put them up as I read them off. But you had, in fact, Ilhan Omar talking about how it's all about the Benjamins, baby. Of course, she came out and backpedaled on that under fire. She also has said that Israel hypnotized the world. Rashida Tlaib talking about that if you support the anti-BDS movement, that's a movement to essentially defund Israel, then you forgot what country you represent. So questioning loyalty, an anti-Semitic trope indeed. She's also talked about having a calming feeling when she's discussed the Holocaust. And then you have this, a soundbite from AOC.
I also think that what people are starting to see, at least in the occupation of Palestine, is just an increasing crisis of humanitarian condition. And that, to me, is just where I tend to come from on this issue.
Yeah, Steve, where's the accountability? We're seeing these anti-Semitic attacks. We've seen anti-Semitic rhetoric over and over and over again. Where's the media coverage?
Well, it's absolutely outrageous, Kaylee, and I think it tells us something really important. I know a lot of people on the left, in other parts of the media, will say, "Oh, you're constantly putting these tweets out there from AOC and the Squad and so on. They don't represent, they're fringe, but they're not fringe people." We can see now from the policy agenda of the Biden administration that group is now driving the Democratic Party. They are the heart, they're the force, the power within the Democratic Party. So what they say is not the sort of ramblings of some extreme people that you can dismiss. It is the heart of the modern Democratic Party. And then you add to that what we've seen over the past year, which is the left in general, and supported by their servants in the media, completely kind of wrap themselves up in this kind of virtue signaling flag of anti-racism. That's the sort of defining thing. We're anti-racist. We've said all along that actually, if you look at critical race theory, the woke ideology that's now being pushed by the Democratic Party, by just the platitudes mouthed all the time by their leaders, pushed in the universities, in schools and corporate America, we've said all along, it is itself racist in the way that it focuses on skin color. And now we see the true colors revealed, because what we see is on the left today, the acceptable form of racism, not even acceptable, almost the compulsory form of racism, is anti-Semitism. It's completely open. And that's why they're not condemning it, because it's part of who they are.
Yeah, and Democrats are blatant about it. In the wake of Ilhan Omar's tweet, they tried to pass a resolution in the House 2 years ago condemning anti-Semitism, and they couldn't even get the votes for it. They were actually called out by a member of their own party. We have a soundbite here I want to play. This is Ted Deutsch, a Democrat, 2 years ago, calling out his own party on this issue.
Why are we unable to singularly condemn anti-Semitism? Why can't we call out anti-Semitism and show that we've learned the lessons of history? It feels like we're only able to call the use of anti-Semitic language by a colleague of ours, any colleague of ours, if we're addressing all forms of hatred. And it feels like we can't say it's anti-Semitism unless everyone agrees that it's anti-Semitism. Who gets to define what counts as stereotypes and discrimination?
Good for that Democrat Congressman, Kennedy, but here we are 2 years later, and there's silence on this. You have Joe Biden praising Rashida Tlaib, who made that anti-Semitic remark a few years ago. You have 217 Democrats in the House voting against a bill to sanction Hamas, supporters of Hamas, which is a terrorist organization. Where are the Democrats today?
They are all over the map on this issue, and it's having some really dangerous real-life consequences, as you are seeing. You know, this is such a huge chasm for them, and they can't run away from this one because the temperature is so hot here, and all of those congresswomen should have their committee posts stripped from them, like Marjorie Taylor Greene. And it should be absolutely unacceptable to use those sort of tropes and that kind of language. Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar are anti-Semites. And that's not acceptable for sitting U.S. congresswomen. I'm sorry, there have to be consequences here. We're a block away at Fox from that, where those protests and skirmishes and violence were. You know, there was almost a riot. There were people throwing M80s at cops. There were Jews who were punched and attacked. And, you know, we were watching it from my studio last night. You could see the protesters, and you could see people and cops chasing them. They were chasing each other. And it's only going to get worse. So the grown-ups and the leaders in this country, they have to comport themselves better, and someone has to take the temperature down, because this is absolutely unacceptable, and it is in itself a form of terrorism.
Yeah, and Harris, this comes
so
at a
well
time
put.
where we've seen a 40% increase in attacks against Jewish men and women in this country. One Jewish leader received a message, Hitler had it right. I saw that on the ADL's website this morning. This is disgusting. This is so sad.
Well, and it's more than all of that. It's dangerous. I think, Kennedy, you hit the nail on the head there in terms of where we need to be now. There needs to be punishment, censure. And look, we are a free country. We have freedom of speech. But you can't go into a crowded theater and yell fire if there isn't actually a fire in the crowded theater. And here's the problem with the crowd on the left, the far left. And we know who they are, whether it's the cause of what they feel about is going on at our southern border, or they, you know, have their anti-Semitic quotes that we can put up all day long in tweets and so on and so forth. AOC said it. She showed you who they are. Believe her. Believe them. The Congresswoman said, you don't need facts to take that higher moral ground. Now, I'm paraphrasing her, but you don't need facts to take that higher moral ground was the gist of what she was saying. And you can apply that right here. So what are the facts on the ground? Yeah, people are going after each other for what they believe in, for their faith. In some cases, for the color of their skin. Who are we right now? Do you want to follow the far left into that dark hole on this issue? Be careful, because it's a dangerous place where you're going. It affects all of us.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well said. Emily, to you, on your thoughts on this story.
The fact that social media really accelerates all of this, and it's rampant for radicalization. We've had almost 200 anti-Semitic attacks in the last 10 days, and there's a competition for likes and views. Everyone is chasing the stature, they're chasing the dopamine, and now with TikTok, that's arguably not only the most addictive yet, but it's also a trifecta of photos, videos, and also commentary. We have commentary encouraging others to film attacks like this, and it's an absolute travesty. And accompanying these videos, I just think that, like I said, it accelerates the conflicts. And who is benefiting? We have to remember to ask that. These tech fat cat giants, soul marauding hipsters like Jack Dorsey, who deflects from the real issue at hand and says, well, isn't more attention on these problems positive? No, I think that we cannot underestimate the harm that it causes.
That's right. And I would encourage all of our viewers, go check out the ADL's website, the list of what is happening in this country. Swastikas being found, attacks on synagogues. It is absolutely terrible what's going on. And we all stand in unison condemning it.